55 crores of operating profit. Our net profit for the quarter has come in at 18.6%, translating to 11,074 crores and an EPS of 30.26. Our cash conversion of net profit continues to be very strong. Our cash from operations stands at 102.5% of net profit, which is almost 11,353 crores. The board has declared an interim dividend of 9 rupees, amounting to about 3,300 crores. Reflecting our sustained focus on building deep customer relationships, the number of customers from whom we make more than 100 million rose by 1 to 60 customers on a year-on-year basis. There has been strong customer movement across all the bands also. In addition, our customer base of 1 million plus customers, that is our smaller ones, but who we acquired recently, stands at 1,268 customers, which is an increase of 72 over last year. Moving on to segmental commentary, UK bucked the trend of global demand softness and grew by 16.1%. North America and Europe grew by 4.6% and 3.4%. Our growth markets like India, LATAM, and Middle East and Africa all had a strong double-digit growth. Among the verticals, life sciences and healthcare, manufacturing, and regional markets and platforms had a strong growth. Life sciences and healthcare grew by 10.1% and manufacturing by 9.4%. Regional markets and platform grew by 16.9%. Among other verticals, BFSI grew by 3%, retail and CPG grew by 5.3%, technology and services grew by 4.4%, and communications and media by 0.5%. Our deal wins continue to be very strong, supporting our belief that investments in technology will remain strong over a long period of time. Our order book closed at 10.2 billion this quarter, marginally higher than last quarter, and almost 24% higher than same period last year. We had deal closures worth 5.2 billion in North America, 3 billion in BFSI, both North America and BFSI being 15% higher than Q1 of last year, and 1.2 billion in retail and CPG. Our attrition continues to improve. On a LTM basis, our IT attrition has reduced to 17.8% from 20.1% in Q4. There has been a lot of interest in GenAI. I thought we will also give you a quick update on what we are doing in GenAI. Generative AI promises to transform most knowledge work by assisting and augmenting people and improving their efficiency and effectiveness. We are currently engaged in over 50 proof of concepts and pilots on GenAI, and we have more than 100 opportunities in the pipeline. Our experience in building several GenAI powered use cases has shown that full potential of GenAI is better realized through an enterprise-wide initiative rather than isolated use cases, requiring deep partnership between business, legal, risk, and compliance, and as well as data and technology teams. So we are starting to engage with many of our customers in helping them, 1, define their GenAI transformation strategy, 2, to define appropriate data strategy and platforms, 3, to define and enforce the guardrails to leverage and implement GenAI, and 4, become effective in driving DevSecOps cycles for purpose of the GenAI agent. So we are looking at it holistically and at the enterprise level. To drive such holistic engagements, we are also leveraging our deep domain and contextual expertise, available in the form of about 65,000 contextual masters and domain experts in TCS in different industries, as well as a pool of about 20,000 technology, solution, and enterprise architects. Our GenAI strategy leverages and builds upon our significant AI research and innovation capability present in our corporate R&D units. This group has already filed over 710 patents for AI inventions in the just past 5 years, and 282 of these patents have been granted already. TCS already has a pool of 50,000 associates trained in AI/ML solutions, AI/ML solution building skills, with over 9,000 with top external certifications. Just in FY23, TCS associates invested 1.4 million hours of learning on AI/ML or related skills. We have started large-scale internal talent development across multiple GenAI solution suites, We are also partnering with all the hyperscalers. We plan to create a talent pool of over 100,000 GenAI trained associates. Our focus on innovation continues to be strong. To date, we have filed for 7,447 patents, which is an increase of 695 over last year. Our total patents granted has crossed a milestone of 3,000 and stands at 3,004 at the end of Q1. Just in Q1 FY24, we have applied for 142 patents and we have been awarded 126 patents, which is almost 2 per working day. And also, we are very proud of the fact that out of the 3,440 patent holders, 753 are women. So, on that positive note, I hand it back to Kritika. We'll open up for question. Back to you, Kritika. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kriti. We'll throw the floor open for questions. A request to all journalists to stick to 2 questions so that we can accommodate all questions. And it is the quarter press conference, so I would request everyone to stick to the earnings specific questions. So we're going to start this time with Ashish Aghashe from PTI.
Thanks. This was there has been commentary that the near term would be a bit difficult for the entire sector. So how far would this near term really last? So how do we define the what is near and what is medium and what is long term basically? And linked to that, you are reporting some softness in the growth in BFSI as well as in North America, which are the key markets for TCS. So what is you're definitely there is the TCV there on both the sides, but how does the pipeline look on both these things? And I'll just squeeze in a second question.
Third question.
Not strictly linked to the earnings, but still, I guess everybody would be interested. About the entire vendor appointments probe. What is is there any update on the same? And these 6 associates, what level are they from? And have they been when we say banned? So have they been dismissed, suspended? And there were 3 others against whom some probe was on. So is there something more to it, basically? Thank you.
Okay. See, on how long the near term or short term, your guess is, or our guess is as good as your guess, right? Will not be able to predict when the economic recovery will be there. I think you guys probably know it better. But our going in position is, we always said that the technology spend in the long term is likely to be strong, and that's validated by the TCV that we have in multiple verticals and geographies. And our pipeline has also remained very strong. In fact, despite the fact that we had a strong conversion of the pipeline into TCV, our pipeline has remained strong. So that gives us a confidence that our clients are continuing to look for investing in technology. But there is a near-term softness because of the uncertainty, and we find some of the, how do you put it, low ROI or not so business critical programs getting paused or deferred or reprioritized. That's what is causing the softness in terms of revenue or conversion. I think I answered your first 2 questions. The third question, the topic of you mentioned vendor or RMG, whatever we need to say has already been said, and at this time we have nothing to add. Okay, if there is something to add, we'll come back.
Thank you, Kriti. Next question from Dhwani from Reuters.
Sir, so mainly on a demand environment, again, I had that question. For next quarter, what kind of total contract value you are expecting? I mean, this quarter.
I don't think we have answered that kind of question in the past. I know that I'm going to start a trend now.
Thank you. Next question from Ramita Mazumdar from Economic Times. Ramita, if you can direct who your question is to.
Sure. So my first question for Kriti would be around the demand outlook. Since you said there is a near-term softness, if you could help quantify, what kind of softness, what are the, signs that you see in terms of the softness? And also, since Ashish has already asked this, in terms of specifically BFSI and CMT verticals as well. There seems to be a slight dip in that space. And for Milind, I have a few queries. One is, of course, in terms of the variable payout for this quarter, what can we expect? There are also some concerns that onboarding has been delayed for a certain number of candidates. So I wanted to understand what is happening on that front. And finally, in terms of, because the number this time, it's around 523, which is generally much higher for Q1. So we wanted to understand what does the hiring outlook look like, and if you can also share the fresher intake this quarter.
Okay, I'll first take that. Again, as I explained, the softness comes because some of the programs which are not very business critical or where the ROI is not very high, those programs are getting paused or delayed, or sometimes they run on a lower capacity. So which is causing this softness. And you can probably, if you can go into further details, like we looked at at the start of the pandemic or during the pandemic, a lot of technology investment happened. And once people start thinking now, can we get more efficiency out of it? Every one of those projects, they are scanned and the people look at, revalidate or reassess those programs. Whenever the ROI is not very clear, those programs are getting paused. But it doesn't mean that that's the reason we are saying the new programs, our clients are still very confident of investing long term. So that's the reason the TCV is continuing to go. Some of the older programs where the ROI is not strong. See, sometimes you'll have a release 1 already complete. Do they have to do a release 2, or can they pause the release 2? If they don't do a release 2, then you end up having a reduction in demand for, or reduction in deployment for such kind of projects. Coming into the sector, BFSI, like largely we found our banking to be okay. Like most of the large universal banks are doing okay because lending as a business is doing quite okay. From mortgages is as expected weak. Capital markets are weak. Amongst the insurance, we find P&C to be weaker, but generally life insurance to be stronger. In terms of CMT, similar thing, like many of the telcos invested in 5G quite a bit. Now, as they don't see the revenues commensurate the investment they made, they are looking at moving into efficiency cycle and seeing how do they conserve cost. Yeah. Over to you, Milind.
Okay, Amita. Variable pay, we are going to basically pay 100% of variable pay for 70% of the people, and the rest 30% will get paid based on the business unit performance. Regarding your question on onboarding delay, for many years we always honor all the offers, and that would continue. There are certain delays because of the environment we are in, because of the project delays. Kriti just talked about release 1, release 2, and how things are not getting progressed. As a result of that, the onboarding of those associates also gets delayed. So in certain cases that is getting delayed, yes, but that is purely based on the project situation. But I commit to today that we are going to honor all the offers. Regarding your question on the freshers intake, we don't give out numbers for a quarterly fresher intake numbers, but we will continue to onboard freshers.
Thank you. Next question from Shivani Shinde from Business Standard.
Hi, gentlemen. Kriti, you've already spoken on the BFSI, but of course, last quarter we did hear a lot of big deals coming in. If you could just elaborate more on it. When you say the environment, do we assume, that's what the company has said, that the cost and optimization deals are back on table? So do we assume that large deals are also back? What's happening on the cloud scenario as well, if you could elaborate on that? NGS, hi. On the BSNL deal, is that a part of this quarter? What's happening, if you can update on that? Samir, hi. Hiring numbers are significantly low. Even last quarter was low, but the margins does have a huge wage impact. Do we see that coming down? And Milind, to you, the number that you shared last quarter for the hiring, is that the same even now? I think it was 40,000 if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. So the large deals we did announce the one, right? Like the Nest is a very important deal that we announced, and so also deal that we had lost and we got back. That's a large deal that we announced, and it also re-emphasizes the strength of our solution. It's been validated by the market as well. So that's a large deal. But otherwise also the number of large deals that we have this quarter is similar to what we don't announce the number, but is similar to what we saw in last quarter also. The trend wise it is same. The question on cost and optimization, like it is again, like I won't say the large deals or small deals, but it happens in multiple ways, right? Like you can have a vendor consolidation deal which could be large, but there could be a application rationalization deal where somebody is trying to merge multiple core banking systems into one. Okay, some of them could be small or big, but overall to be expected, there are more C&O deals than transformation deals at this time.
On the BSNL, this $10.2 billion overall deal value does not include the BSNL opportunity. Right? I can confirm that we have got the advanced purchase order for the BSNL deal. We are working with the BSNL management to actually get the confirmed purchase orders at a zonal level and circle level, and that work is on. So certain events will have to be concluded so that we can actually put it into the converted bucket. Yeah.
Shivani, on your question on margins, like it happens in any year, we take the annual increment headwind upfront, and then we claw back on the margins as we go through the year. You would have seen that happening in the last year itself, and that is what we'll target through this year as well.
The number of 40,000, I would still say yes, but how it gets spread out over the year, how it will eventually will depend on the situation, market situation. So for now, I think the number stands, but the spread is still uncertain. No,
Yeah.
we said 40,000. We normally hire 40,000. How they will get spread out over the year is something which we are working on.
Reema Tendulkar from CNBC-TV18.
Gentlemen, congratulations. Kriti, the first question is on BFSI, high-tech, North America communications. These are all verticals which you all have flagged off in the past as being a bit stressed. You've cautioned about it. When can we expect a recovery? Do you think it's possible in H2 there is a possibility demand picks up? Are there any signs from your conversation that clients are getting more comfortable to start spending now from here on, maybe 3 months down the line? And NGS, do you think this $10 billion TCV that you've clocked in for 2 consecutive quarters now is sustainable? And also on the, I think this, $50 million deals, last time you said it's at a record high in Q4. Is that something which has been there? If you could talk about that $50 million deal. And Samir, on margins, do you think that 25% is achievable by Q4 of FY24, an aspiration that you had last year? Do you think this time it's achievable? Thank you.
Reema, it will be too difficult for me to call on when this recovery will happen or start. Like we are also we are working closely with our customers. We are trying to see what issues they have, how to resolve them. But when the demand will be back, I think depends a lot on how the macroeconomic parameters turn out to be, and whether there is a recession, not a recession, and when there is a certainty. Essentially, you will see more spend happening when there is a certainty. When there is uncertainty, you will see this.
No green shoots as of now? I mean, how would you compare the demand today versus, say, 3 months back? Or any
As I say, like we had the same very similar TCV like last year, so which is a indication that clients are confident about long term but uncertain about short term. But I don't know when, like I was telling him, I have also no clue on when the demand is similar, yeah.
And there's no sign that in H2 also.
Reema, you have 3 more questions now.
It will be too difficult for me to call that, Reema.
I think we are pleased that in a continuous quarter we have clocked upwards of 10 billion in overall contract values. And what's important is it's come from $5 billion have come from US, about $3.2 billion from BFSI. The rest of it, retail, is about 1.2 billion, and it has come from broad-based markets, right? I must acknowledge, though, that the deal conversion in Europe is taking a little longer than what we typically are used to, right? I think 10 billion is a good to aspire for, continuously, but we always in the earlier occasions we have said that $8 to $10 billion is a good benchmark, a good band to be operating in for us, right? Overall, we are pleased with the kind of deals that we have signed, a good combination, and the pipeline looks strong. It's we see opportunities for vendor consolidation. We see opportunities for transformation deals. We see opportunities for cloud, AI-led transformations. Many of these things are in the pipeline, which looks pretty good. And if you take even the $10 billion, barring that one mega deal in Nest that we announced, the rest of the things are all combination of 50, 60, 70, those kind of deals. So I think, people will be more comfortable signing such smaller deals because it gives them that flexibility. And then they are also able to, given the recessionary trends and things like that, they also want to sign up more short-term deals where, the return on investments, as Kriti pointed out, is seen and something that, they can be very agile about decision-making and getting some of the things quickly done. Generative AI, as the, now every project, okay, are you including generative AI within the scope or not, is a conversation that we typically have, right? So in that context, that every project that we do, what is the intelligence layer that we have built in the architecture? And is it something that we need to go and validate? So can we add instead of merely AI ML, can we add a generative AI piece to it? So those kind of checks and balances and controls are being also thought through. But overall, I think we have a fantastic pipeline. We are happy that we have done 2 consecutive quarters, 10 billion plus. North America doing 5 billion, the other one doing BFSI doing 3.2 billion. I think we are happy.
So, Rima, on the margins front, 26 to 28 remains the aspiration band which we all collectively believe we should operate in, and we have all signed up to it. Last time, the 25%, given the current macro uncertainty and the lack of visibility, it would be difficult to put a number through in terms of where we'll exit at, but we'll try to claw back and creep up as soon as possible.
Thank you. Anisha Jain from ET Now.